I like that. I like that. Well done, my son. Hey, folks, we're live, and you're seeing him, the man, the legend, Avi Lipkin, and we're gonna film As Goes Israel, and we're also streaming this too. You're seeing this in Oklahoma City and Dallas, West Texas, and beyond, and beyond. And so we're gonna go ahead and start. It's always so great to see your face, Avi, and we love you. We love Israel. It's as goes Israel, so goes the world with none other than Avi Lipkin, the world-renowned author and speaker. And again, like I said this about my friend Brian Holmes, to know him is to love him. Avi, how you doing there?
Very good, very good. We're all here watching, locked onto the TV, or shall I say the TV stations, because they're, as soon as they come out with a commercial, you go over to another station to see what other war movies are taking place in Gaza. We're watching everything going on there. And hey, listen, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And I think Gaza, I think Hamas was trying to fool everyone all the time. And I think somebody like President Trump said enough is enough. I mean, Netanyahu also, but who's Netanyahu? In the eyes of the Israeli left, he's nothing. But with President Trump, you got to listen. You got to take him seriously. You heard what Caroline Levitt said. You got to take President Trump seriously.
And people are learning to take him seriously. Even the traitors here, the
Yeah.
commies here. Also Obama's Muslim Brotherhood. Obama, openly, his Muslim Brotherhood openly said, that we will bring them down. We will bring their terrible house down from within. And of course, Obama, if the political winds shift in an ugly direction, I will stand with the Muslims. Well, of course, you've championed the Muslim Brotherhood and the globalists along with the Bushes, and here we are. So, but Trump's not playing around. No matter what liberal shill tries to throw in his way, that's in the best interest of the American people. He doesn't play around. I saw a poll the other day. Only 7% of Americans have a favorable view of the Democrat. I thought, where did you take that poll? Portland, Oregon? The evil has been exposed. Even Italy's leader has voiced that she will stand with freedom, no matter what the leftists say. And I guess it's a hard reality for the leftists to understand that their voice not only doesn't matter, nobody trusts them. And it's the restraint of law-abiding citizens that these leaders that have robbed Americans blind, have betrayed Americans, and have allowed so many deaths because of their corruption that they're even breathing today. But that's just me.
Not just you, not just you.
But you know what? Hamas, I mean, it's a learning curve for them. Usually you take hostages and rape and pillage and kill. You get millions from the Democrats. So what happens now when there's a new leader that says, no, we're going to kill you. We're going to find you. We're going to kill you. And we're going to hunt you down. You know what? There's an old show, Walker, Texas Ranger, Chuck Norris. It was even his voice. The eyes of Texas are upon you. Let me tell you something. When the eyes of Israel are upon you, there is no place in this world you can hide. And I pray that Mossad and America finishes the job. How's that for blunt?
Well, I'm thinking to myself that the U.S. government is negotiating with Somalia and Somaliland to send the Gaza Arabs there. I don't know. I think that the best country to send them to, I'm very serious now, is a country called Indonesia. Indonesia is the biggest Muslim country in the world. There are no Jewish people in Indonesia. I think there are 20. And Indonesia is a country of many, many islands. And there's no shortage of water, no shortage of palm trees and fertile land. This would be an excellent place to send 2 million Palestinians. Let them be there. They have no enemies there. It's a Sunni Muslim country. Let them enjoy life with them, and just get them out of our hair, get them out of here, because all they want to do is kill us. I don't think they're going to want to kill the Indonesians because the Indonesians are Muslim like they are. But if they try to kill the Indonesians know what to do with them.
Well, that would be a good idea. You know, the unfortunate thing is that these people have been funded and programmed to kill Israelis. You know, during the Hamas attack, you heard various voice messages of "Mom, I killed another Jew. Oh, we wish we could be there with you." You would have thought they were calling from Disneyland. They've been conditioned and raised to kill Israelis. And it is important to know that the Palestinians continue to vote in Hamas leaders. I mean, even the latest leader, from what I understood before it all went to heck, claimed that she says, I have 10 sons and I've lost 3 to martyrdom. I've got 7 more, I believe is what she said. That's the ideology. So, you know, the staged crying woman, and I'm not minimizing suffering, but I've seen since the 90s, okay, and it's happened decades before. All these liberal cameramen right there zoomed in to one woman crying against a fence, and yet the reality is that the Palestinians themselves continue to vote for terrorists. Their children's shows sing songs about blowing themselves up in the gates of Jerusalem. Even the little Mickey Mouse knockoff was a terrorist, okay, on television. These people are like rabid animals programmed to kill. And that's the same way with a lot of jihadists, okay? They're programmed to kill. There's no appeasing a rabid animal. You know, you can't do that. So even a two-state solution, well, what's that going to do? Bring them closer so they can rocket bomb Israel from there? I mean, a child can see this from afar. It just requires common sense. What are people doing? Well, what they're doing is they're trying to play the world, and it's not working anymore. You know, those who have wisdom or even a hint of common sense can see what's going on. You know, and so what do? Well, I think what needs to be done is exactly what Trump is doing. You know, I can only hope that the left and the saboteurs, the traitors from within Israel, will be dealt with just like Trump is dealing with those here.
Yes, and indeed, Trump and Netanyahu have the same problem. And I would even add, maybe less of a problem, but Argentina's president, Javier Milei, he's a good Christian, but he loves Israel. He loves the Jews. He loves Judaism. And he's a good Christian who loves the roots of his faith. And he started, I watched this very carefully, I told you, because my family's from Argentina. But he's calling for MAGA, make Argentina great again. And to do that, he's working closely with Trump and he's working closely with Netanyahu. So I'm very excited because the 3 closest countries to my heart are the U.S., Israel, and Argentina. So I think the world is on the rebound from some crazy leftist anarchist behavior of the last few years.
Well, they're going to have to be. They're going to have to be because their very survival depends on it. You know, we are battling what many call the spirit of Haman. We are battling that ancient serpent that is satisfied with nothing less than a scorched earth. That's what we're fighting against. And evil is very united, but evil is also self-destructive. They devour one another. And we need to take a cue. I think that we are taking a cue. I think we're finally coming together. Have you ever seen such a unified conservative part? I haven't seen this since the 80s. And even then, but that was the Christian Coalition. You know, we haven't had a Christian coalition in quite a long time, but it's not just Christian. These are anyone who subscribe to family values, to conservative views. The Black community, whom I desperately love, you're talking about some outspoken people. They're calling out the party of slavery, the party of Jim Crow laws, the party of Biden, the party of Clinton's super predator labeling. you know, and such. My gosh, I was speaking to a very wealthy liberal the other day, and I said, nothing breeds anger more in a young man than paying him not to work. And then, of course, in America, you have the same people that own rap labels owning prisons. Go put those puzzle pieces together. But in all of this, I've never seen more unity than I have seen right now. The left likes to talk about unity when they're trying to do a communist takeover, but I'm seeing a lot of unity interpersonally as well, widespread, and I pray that Israel is unified. I believe that she is. The Hamas attacks unified Israel. On a scale from 1 to 10, where would you put Israel in terms of unity against Hamas?
Well, I think you can say, according to the voting patterns in Israel, that 70% of Israel is pro-Likud and therefore totally against Hamas.
Right.
10% are Muslims, Arabs, and then 20% are leftists. And a lot of the leftists are serving in the army and fighting in Gaza. I would say maybe 90% of the population understands that the Hamas is something so totally destructive that you don't want to have anything to do with it. That's the vast majority of Israelis. And you know what? I think that the whole behavior of Biden, the Democrats, supporting Hamas, supporting the horror of what happened on October the 7th, I think helped bring Trump to power. Because the Americans are saying, Israel is the apple of God's eye, even for us Christians. And so if Biden and his Democratic Party are anti-God, anti-Jewish, anti-Israel, I think that helped to bring the right-wing Christian conservatives to power in America.
It is. And people are disgusted. I mean, what happens when you have Democrats being discussed? I'm not talking about AOC, the paid actress from the Young Democrats. Watch that documentary. She's an actress. They had tryouts. Okay. She's a mega millionaire now. But she's a paid actress, AOC. But, they're turning against Schumer, who, bless his little liberal, corrupted heart, he saw allowing a shutdown to be a gift to Trump, and he
Right.
saw avoiding a shutdown, to being a gift as well. I mean, he couldn't win either other way, because the world is taking notice that this party, and you have corruption on both sides. You have what we call rhinos here, Republican in name only, like Mitt Romney. And I'm sad to say our friend Crenshaw even took what, $29 million, one of his kickbacks and such. But I'm telling you, the world is seeing, the world is disgusted, and it's widespread. People have had enough. They've been protesting for a long time, but they've had enough. And then yesterday, seeing the footage of a Chinese operative leading the Hamas demonstration at UCLA. So why are Chinese operatives getting behind the Hamas protests? Well, the same reason that the Mexican cartels are. They're in it together. And pay attention, folks. Pay attention to who supports those who kill innocent women and children and men. And it's not a mystery anymore. I just pray that Americans remember this. And midterms, the same passion. You better vote. Don't let these demons switch the House or Senate to try to circumvent everything that this president is doing to help the country. You better make sure you vote this time too, folks. You're not hearing it as publicized, but it's very, very important. So anyhow, Netanyahu, what are the latest words from Netanyahu?
Well, Netanyahu was in a bind because, on the one hand, the head of the Secret Service, Ronen Bar, should have quit of his own volition after the massacre of October the 7th, and he's just hanging on and hanging on and hanging on. And last night, there was a in-depth discussion with many members of a panel on Channel 14, and they were saying that Ronen Bar is taking his orders from the deep state. And the deep state is telling him to hold on, not to retire, because it's all part of the planned overthrow of Netanyahu. We're talking about a coup d'etat against Netanyahu by the deep state. I would let President Trump take over Israel and let him take care of the deep state people. He would know how to do it.
Well, you know what? If anybody could, he could.
Yeah.
I mean, the mainstream leftist treasonous media didn't cover all the rallies. Did you know there were Trump rallies in London? There were Trump rallies all over the world. Trump, 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 because they see in him or in his philosophy and his work ethic, they
Our
see in
last
him hope. What's that?
our last hope. Trump
You
is the
know,
last.
yeah. Interesting. Conor McGregor, who is a recent Christian convert, Conor McGregor at the White House on behalf of Ireland, saying that Ireland's interests are compromised. Well, that's a shock. I mean, it's everywhere where there's lots of money. Money makes you more of what you are. If you're generous, you'll be more generous. If you're corrupt, you'll be more corrupt. If you're stingy, you'll be more stingy. And if you're compromised, you'll be more compromised. I wouldn't be surprised, though, to see Conor McGregor become a leader in Ireland. He said that a lot of rural villages and towns were completely overran immediately with these funded immigration invasions. And it's a part of the Agenda 2030, no borders, no nationalities, a smart cities, prison planet, social credit system. Folks, it's a real thing. It's not a conspiracy theory. They tell you in movies and on Google, and just research it yourself. But along the lines of smart cities, though, are you seeing any movement in Israel towards any smart cities?
Well, listen, the so-called dumb city, which is not dumb, but it's Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is the homosexual, the LGBST, whatever they're called. Um, and so, on the one hand, we have a problem with people who refuse to serve in the military among the ultra-Orthodox, but we also have a problem among secular left-wing liberals in Tel Aviv. They go to the coffee shops and they don't want to serve in the army either. So that's Tel Aviv is kind of like the Sin City of Israel. But you've got all the other cities which have a much bigger percentage of Jewish people from the Islamic countries that came on Aliyah. They're right wing. A lot of the former Soviet Union people came to live in these cities. They're right wing because they hate communism after what happened to them. But these one world government, deep state people live in Tel Aviv primarily. So I hate to say that they're the dumb ones. They think they're the smart ones, but socialism is a failure. And these people praise socialism, but they make millions of dollars because they control all the big corporations in Israel. There are things that don't make sense, but that's what we're dealing with here. But you know what? Today there was some very good news in Israel that we have our main airport near Tel Aviv. It's called Ben Gurion Airport. We built a special airport near Eilat, all the way in the south. Haifa has a small international airport, primarily to Greece and Cyprus. Today, they announced the creation of an Israeli airport in the Negev, in the middle of the desert,
Wow.
near the city of Dimona. So we will now have 4 international airports in Israel. Dimona is a very, very right-wing city of immigrants who came from Islamic countries and from former Soviet countries. But the people who are ultra-liberal, when I say ultra-liberal, it means they're socialists. They're anti-liberal. These people primarily live in Tel Aviv.
Wow. Kind of like what's perceived about Austin, Texas. Although I did find out that Austin is not a liberal city. Its leaders are. And that is the game. A lot of citizens, if they would just show up and vote, could vote out these ultra liberal leaders. But here we are. And perception is reality in America until it's disproven. But people, you got to get busy. You got to show up. And, as a matter of fact, there's someone I want you to meet, Avi. And I think that he wants to meet you too. Dan Rogers, WeThePeopleTownSquare.com, WeThePeopleTownSquare.com. Dan was instrumental with Reagan, instrumental with Abbott and Cruz, even others, conservative leaders. And we the people town square dot. He doesn't tell you how to vote, but he just tells you the truth and he interviews anybody. But he's interested in interviewing you, and
Great.
he shares a lot of values that you share. He's a great man, and without a doubt, a lot of people in West Texas and the Panhandle voted early. Voting early is what got our vote to count with Trump, folks. They were ready to do it again, and they still did it in the states and counties where they outlawed voter ID. Were the only places where the Dems won, and Democrats did not win anywhere in our nation where voter ID was enforced. All that to say is, I pray that the unity that I'm perceiving will manifest in greater ways all over the world, and I'm very excited that there's some follow through. I I I still want to see the Epstein files that we were promised. I want to see the JFK files that we were promised today.
By the way, I have to interrupt you. Our former Prime Minister, Ehud Barak,
Yeah.
who is the leader of the deep state in Israel, working to overthrow Netanyahu, visited Epstein's Island 14 times.
Yep. And guess what he was doing, folks?
That's why his wife divorced him.
Raping kids. You know, I say it often over here, and people might think I'm crazy. Well, they probably do anyway, but I just thought, America would be a different place if we had regulators again. Wyatt Earp knew how to deal with corrupt judges and corrupt sheriffs and thugs and thieves and traffickers. And, I just think if there was regulators in every town, you wouldn't have repeat offenders. These people would just have to see each other pay the price and be encouraged not to do that. Interestingly enough, did you see any footage of the Obama's judge, of course, tried to get Trump to return these thugs, to release them back into the community to rape and kill and traffic, what the Democrats love, leaders. But they were being shaved and marched into the El Salvador prison with their heads down. I've seen that posturing before. But it's interesting to see some follow throughs that we have been wanting to see, and we voted for this. So interesting. I long for the day when Israel will do the same with the thugs and the infiltrators and the saboteurs from within. Who in the world would support terror? Who in the world would support that? Fellow terrorists. And birds of a feather stick together. Different heads of the same snake. But we can pray for the peace of Israel. We can go to biblicalalliance.com and support the work of Avi Lipkin. Sure want to get you over to the States, Avi. I'm not sure what it's going to take.
By the way, I have to update you. I have a date at the hospital for my pacemaker battery replacement, which is the 9th of April. And then I'm not allowed to travel for 30 days. I have to recuperate because my chest has been opened,
Wow.
So about May the 9th, plus minus, I should be going to the States, to Florida. My car has been idling there for 2 years. Nobody's been using it. So I have to get a tow truck, take it to Toyota, have them resurrect the car, if it's possible. They may say to me, Toyota, dump it and get a new car. So then I would have about 20, 30 churches between Florida and Virginia, the East Coast. Then I have to double back west, to Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. Maybe go to Colorado, maybe go to California. So I have a big trip. So I'll probably make it to Texas by mid-June if everything goes well. So
we will be praying for you, my friend, because
Amen.
we need you.
Thank you.
And we love you very, very much. Folks, you can go to biblicalalliance.com, biblicalalliance.com. You can see the various teachings of Avi Lipkin, some wonderful things. Some people still have DVD players as well. Now, Avi, do you have your video files in a digital, you're on YouTube a lot, which is
Right.
wonderful. People can get a good picture of what's happening when you go to YouTube. Let me do that right now. But people can subscribe to your channel, Avi Lipkin. And I would sure love to see you
Yeah.
get revenue from a lot of subscriptions. I'm not sure if YouTube is showing you some love or not, but they should. And I'm going there right now. Go
I'm
ahead.
doing the YouTubes for free, but I have to tell you, I'm doing 3 YouTubes a week for free. Um, you know how much money I've made in the last 2 months since January 1st?
No.
$15.
What's that?
I have made $15
Uh-huh.
from Amazon for people reading my books. Uh, $15 is my work for the last 2.5 months. So I'm not begging. I'm happy with whatever God gives me. But I definitely need to get back to the States and start giving church lectures and selling books and making some money. So anyway,
Well, being a scholar and an author and a presenter, that's I've been in that business, and it's a wonderful business when you have something great to offer, and you do.
yeah.
So, folks, we need to do better on that. Any Chase Bank, Dennis Avi Lipkin. And
Okay.
if you want to learn more about that, you can message me or one of the many Facebook pages we're on right now. We're actually live in Oklahoma City and Dallas and Rockwall and Midland and Odessa, other towns as well. There's cities as well, Amarillo. There's a global page too, We the Media. You're seeing it in a lot of places. And you can message any of those pages and more. And I will see that. So, Avi, we're just very, very grateful for you, and we thank the Lord for you. We need to see that situation change. Dennis Avi Lipkin. Now, so still, anyone can go to a Chase Bank location and ask to deposit money into the
Deposit
account.
cash, deposit a check.
Cash. Dennis Avi Lipkin.
Uh, or if it's too difficult, you can give them the routing number for the Chase Bank, and then from whatever bank they can wire the money to my account. By the way, another thing that I never talk about, we are scheduled to have elections in Israel in October 2026, which is a year and a half away from now.
Wow.
I cannot do any works other than just these free Zooms if I don't have money to pay for publicity, for radio, TV, newspapers, billboards, MAGA hats, all kinds of stuff, which will get people to vote for the party. And I have potentially millions of people in Israel who could vote for my party. But if I don't have money, I can sit here behind the computer or go to a few night meetings and end up with 500 votes like I did in 5 elections because I didn't have any money for publicity. So, I'm not concerned. God is in charge. If God wants his party to succeed, God will provide. If not, I'll pay the grocery bills with my wife, and that's it.
Well, I'd like to see better than that for you, Avi. And
Yeah.
all the things, all the topics that you can teach on. Not everyone can do that. Biblicalalliance.com. When you go there, it is a user-friendly site, folks. And Aaron is very gifted in that as well. But, this isn't just a person to come say nice words. This is a theologian, a lecturer, an author, an Israeli politician. Now, let's talk a little bit more about that. But Avi, we love you. Thank you for joining us today. And we'll be praying for the peace of Israel because as goes Israel,